Yo, what it do? What it do?
What's going on?
Man, I'm moving all fast, trying to stream stuff and all kind of stuff. How y'all feeling? Big Dave
What
Roberson.
up, man?
Did I tell y'all I saw Dave in Trader Joe's?
The first or the fifth time.
Right. It was a funny as shit because I was not prepared for Dave to be as tall or as handsome in real life. Dave was up in there like somebody's supermodel or something. I said, man, your wife better show up or something, or somebody gonna tackle you in here.
Did he have his own theme music? Was he walking through the hall with his theme music?
Women was walking up and giving them their phone number. It was crazy. I said,
Oh my God.
I realized that Dave had all the sexy going on. I was like, all right, brother.
Appreciate that, brother, man. That's the way to welcome me to the show. Since I'm not on there, I can appreciate that.
Hey, well, you got as much currency on the show as Randy does. So we got two veteran guests with us. And Randy, we 3 minutes in, and Randy has not offended anybody. So
Well,
Give me time. Give me time.
We left that up to you, Sean, last week.
Oh, that's right. I sent y'all that stuff. Was that crazy?
Yeah.
We have to talk about that a little bit.
First of all, did she date you or something? Because she was the vitriol. The vitriol.
I have no idea who that woman was. And
Yeah.
the scary thing was we had over 200 mutual friends.
There's
And
a
I was
story
like,
behind that.
I said, man, I know 200 people that know somebody this ignorant. And hey, Randy, she did not bite her tongue. So
Worse than me?
oh my gosh.
Oh,
She came from me, dude, and I don't even know her first words to me on a thread that we were not communicating on. She took a shot at me on a thread and said, "You got a whole podcast bashing women."
Tell her to sit her ungrateful,
I said,
tethered behind on down. I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna leave it at tethered. Tethered. Okay.
But Glenn, I want some credit. Did I or did I not conduct myself with class and dignity and patience and grace?
you did. Actually, I commend you for that.
Yeah.
I'd have been like, who are you? And why am I talking to you?
Yeah, because I'm sure had I been, the ninja that I'm capable of being, then it would have affirmed, everything that she was alleging, and it would have been twisted somehow. And I just told her I was going to continue to pray for her.
I hope I grow up and turn into the man that you are, because I refuse to give people peace when they give me hell.
Yeah, it's just, to me, it's not a wise way to spend my emotional currency, to let myself get upset, because I would have gotten upset because it was so ignorant and so out of line and so left.
Well, it was kind of one of those things that are put in your way when you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden here comes somebody acting a fool.
It's divinely orchestrated, man. Just like I posted the other day about if you've dug your heels in about something, you've got some goals, and it looks like they are insurmountable at this point. The enemy can't last long. That's just the enemy trying to make you doubt yourself and doubt your decision and doubt your commitment. You hold fast to your commitment. Eventually, the enemy is going to concede because they can't hold on in the face of your truth. You know what I'm saying? And your support from the divine. So all they can do is try to spook you, and hopefully you don't go for it. And if you hold on, then what you're waiting for is on the other side of the enemy trying to challenge you.
I don't know how we could expect any different reaction from you with the setup that you got going on. You got the mood lighting, you got the light in the background, your aura is just shining behind you. So I mean, it's to be expected.
Hey, Dad, you probably can't see, but I got my Christmas tree still up back there.
I looked at that time and I was about to turn
the mic sticking out, Dave.
In here.
Hey, man,
he got the sexual chocolate thing going on. Let me try that.
He really does.
They're going to be like Sean, the love man Mason. And right now, we're going to get into the song by Luther Vandross, "A House Is Not a Home."
Hey, man,
Stop on by. Let me wring them panties out for you.
And he's back. And he couldn't wait.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Randy Stress.
Did he say, wait a minute, did he say ring the panties?
He said ring the panties.
Ring.
Hey, I don't know what fluid it is we wringing out of them, Glenn.
He meant like she was washing them and on the rest cycle, and you got to
just stopped.
Real tight.
I guess it depends
That's
on
what
how
Randy
far
meant.
into the night, Dave, we are. That
Look,
we
no,
know
I
what
didn't.
we ringing, you know.
I hit the button and it dropped.
Remember the song? You can ring my bell.
I think Tupac said it best. I'm hitting switches on like I've been fixing hydraulics.
Hey, my question is: Are we ringing the panties or wrenching them? Those are two very
Depends on
different.
what part of the country you're in.
Depending on where you're from, right?
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah. And
Let's get this party started.
Right.
Hey, man, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Not much has changed.
Happy birthday to me. And yeah, all that good stuff. Hey man, let's do it a little different. Did she say something about my ball?
Yep, I saw that too.
Something about your what?
TJ said
Balls
something
not
about my
tickled.
balls being tickled or something, but
Okay, TJ, ma'am. We will not have that kind of language, ma'am.
right.
Hi, TJ.
Hey,
yeah, we need to cut them off, TD, with drinking.
hey, check this out. Before we get going, let's do it a little differently. Randy and Dave, let's do your public service announcements at the beginning. Randy, you first. Let me know what's going on with you. I guess we could still introduce these guys, but they don't rock with us so much. You know, you're probably a newer viewer if you don't know who they are. But Randy, real quick, take 30 seconds, man. Tell us what you're doing, where you at, what's going on with you.
I'm in LA right now. Teeter-tottering. I may be moving back to Atlanta soon. I am still doing my writing, and at this time, I'm thinking about kicking back up and doing the next season of the Stress-Free Zone on YouTube.
Yeah, man. If you got any links or anything you want Raj to put up, just make sure you let us know, man, and he'll put some advertisements.
Hey, look, I forgot this. Since somebody didn't sing a song for me yet, I'm forced to try to sing it myself. But my boy got me doing a country song, so we're gonna see how that turns out.
I don't see nothing wrong with a little bump and grind.
Oh, whoa, wrong country song.
wrong song, wrong artist.
Cousin loving country.
Right. Big Dave. Hey man, take about 30 seconds, man. Tell the good people who you are, what you're doing, all of that good stuff.
Dave Roberson, aka Mr. Wick, as I'm formerly known in this circle. But yeah, just stepping in for my brother.
I think that was still the best intro ever for anybody.
That was.
Matter of fact, Raj, if there's some way you can pull that back up, man, at any point in the show, just
I'm sure he's got it on speed.
Kick that intro, man. I don't care if you cut us off or whatever. It was so good. But yeah, what else? What else, Big Dave?
Yeah, but things are good, man. Just moving, man. Still doing my thing in the world of finance. So, you know, going strong there, and just looking forward to a big bang up year, man. So
yeah, well, we believe in you, man. Believe you're gonna rock it out in 24 just the way you want to. And for anybody who is a newer viewer, I'm gonna keep using that because I like that. Newer viewer, if you don't know, this is the brother of Mel Roberson, who is usually with us, but who is somewhere doing something good and amazing, like he always is if he's not on deck with us. And then you know the rest of us, the lover of life, Robert Hazard, the Renaissance man, Glenn Murray, and me, your lovable host, birthday boy, Shiny Sean.
I have an announcement, Sean, Mr. Mason, sir. May I be recognized by the chair?
You may, sir. Yes, please.
So
speak.
I'm hanging the shingle out again. My wingman business is back in business. You know, after getting Mel married a year and a half ago, which was a really hard job. I figured you, Randy, Robert, need some work
Between the three of us, man. You should be rich between the three of us, huh?
I was gonna say I need some help.
Y'all done brought me out of retirement, like Jordan going to the Wizards. Now I got to come back out of retirement and get back in wingman shape just for y'all. But it's open. We're open for business now.
Randy got
let me know how much.
Randy, like, what do your packages look like?
Right. You got a cheap package. I mean,
Right.
I got a platinum, a silver, platinum, and gold package. I mean, a gold, silver, and platinum package for you guys. So.
Hey man, I'm gonna be very
I
transparent.
suggest y'all take the platinum package.
Well, you know the ladies love the platinum. I'm gonna be very transparent, man. I am still trying to figure out whether or not, you know, I can do it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't know if
what?
the whole, what'd you say?
Do what? What do you mean?
Do me, baby. No. The whole relationship thing, you know, I don't know. You know, I don't know if it's going to be a circumstance that says, go ahead, run on, young man. You know, but right now I'm almost like I'm on a 6-month. I can't think of the word my brother uses, but I'm like on a 6-month thing where I'm trying to accomplish something by June, which that's already going to shut me down from a social standpoint. Like, you know, I need to, in terms of some money and putting back and, you know, that kind of thing. So I'm getting ready to dial all of that back, which isn't good for dating. And then when you have trepidation dating, you know, any little thing that validates your trepidation, you know, then makes you go, see, so I don't know, man, if I'm.
But that's usually the time when you meet somebody, because
that's what I was just
I've been
about to
hearing.
say.
I've been hearing that for 30 years. I've been hearing that for 30 years.
Hold on. Now you know what I've been going through for the last, I don't know how many years. I was celibate for the last, I don't know how many years, and I finally got somebody who I'm banging
I give a little
with.
bit away free, Randy.
Look, I didn't think that I was gonna find anybody. Now I got somebody I'm sleeping with again, and she's scared to get into a relationship, but I finally got somebody that I'm doing my thing with and working my way toward finding a good woman. So Randy, I broke out of one part of it, and now I'm working on the other part
these days. That's all. I'm just glad you're getting laid.
Look, I said it nicely. I said it nicely. I don't have a girl. No, I don't have a girl because she's scared to be in a committed relationship. So
yeah, well, that's
not. She's just using your body, huh?
Right. She's using you like a cheap hussy.
Damn women.
And I needed to break it back in because after 5 years, I needed to make sure stuff still worked. Now I know it still works, so I'm good.
Well, I got this carpal tunnel.
Okay, I hate I brought this up now.
Overtime.
Too late.
I don't have that problem, but yeah.
What, the carpal tunnel?
Yeah.
No, Sean. Seriously, though, Sean. It's like
that was the 6-month project, and that's the end result.
It was the end result.
Right, Dave. I got 6 months of carpal tunnel rehab.
We think you achieved that goal. You need to might move on now to some physical therapy. Get that hand back straightened out.
Hey man, are we supposed to be doing a show? Because I don't feel like we have started.
I feel like I just rolled into like House of Blues one night.
What's amazing is that nobody has bothered us. Like usually when this happens, you got Keisha or Roger, you know, in the comments that the viewers can't see, going, start the show.
Keisha drinking somewhere, and Raj, you know, he probably
Raj in the bathroom or looking for an insulting picture of me that he can.
That too.
Hey man, everybody's talking about it. I was looking forward to talking about it.
There we go.
I don't know who that is, but I guess it's supposed to be me.
He got a whole mixtape.
He got the greatest hits. He's wrote the greatest hits out. Oh my god!
Hey man, that second one was funny. That was new, Rise. That second one was new. All right. Can I see the second one again? That was pretty good. Can I see the second one again?
Oh my god!
I didn't even see that one at first. Wow.
That's me in about 11 years, I guess. That's how it's gonna be going down. Hey,
possibly 2.
You know what? I had not taken any shots. Now I just want you to know it's open season. So expect to be come for. Yeah, he said mixtape, TJ. I heard that too. That was funny. Dave said he got a whole mixtape. Hey, hey man, Cat Williams. We gotta talk about it, man. And even in the green room, there were very different opinions about the whole thing, which I guess is the beauty of it. You know, I've not, to be honest with you, I've not really come across anybody that saw it quite like I saw it. So I'm probably the outlier, and that's okay. but I think at the end of the day, man, I think he said some things that were probably accurate about the way people have treated him. Because what I also realized during the week that followed is I was able to find episodes on YouTube of almost everybody that he mentioned saying something defamatory about him. And so a lot of this was his ultimate clapback. Like, I haven't said anything. I saw Mike Epps. I saw a whole bunch of comics, and they might not have meant it in a malicious way, but he probably took it in a malicious way. And this was the perfect platform for him to strike back. Now,
well, he touched some nerves because Cedric the Entertainer was like about to turn his hat to the back. He was G'd up like he was ready to roll.
And here's the most recent thing I saw. I thought a lot of, because it came from a comedian I don't think a lot of. But he said, in that world, they all borrow from each other. And it's not like that joke was the joke that made Cedric's career. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people aren't, if you didn't see Kings of Comedy, you're not even familiar with that joke, right? So there had to be something more to it, because that joke wasn't the ultimate joke. It was a good joke, but wasn't the ultimate joke. But this particular comedian pointed out that Kat's opening for one of his specials, I can't think, it's the one that he wore the black tux on and he had on the gym shoes and he came out on Every Day I'm Hustling. His opening is an opening that was stolen from JB Smoove. JB Smoove did that same opening, different spin, right? And to me, JB and Kat's opening were closer than Kat and Cedric's joke. Like it's unmistakable that he took that from JB. So you're making all this fuss, and that's something that's common to the culture. But when they say hurt people, I think some of those comedians hurt Kat, coming for him, and he took the biggest platform he could, and he clapped back. Because some of the stuff Kat said, you're not gonna get me to believe. I don't believe he read 3,000 books a year from the time he was 8 to, I wrote this shit down, time he was 8 to
that is 10
12.
books a day. That is 10 books a day, y'all.
I don't believe that. He does not run a year. He does not run a 4.340, 4.440. He showed a video that was the craziest video ever. He looked like a little rat running down the thing with no shirt on. I'm like, dude, I don't care what you say. That is world-class athlete speed, right? Like, that's Usain Bolt probably runs a 4.3. So if you ran a 4.3, you wouldn't be making money in comedy. You'd be making millions and millions and millions doing something else. So some of the stuff, to me, if he had not told the crazy stuff, the other stuff would have been a little easier to swallow.
Well, I got my skull cap and my brown liquor ready for the People show. So y'all get ready, because I'm gonna tell the truth about all of y'all on the cave.
I dare you. What y'all think about Kat though, man? What were your takeaways? And actually, since it's been a week, you probably have gone through some different perceptions and perspectives about it. So, Robert, what did you think?
Yeah, like I told you in the green room, I only watched some of it. I hadn't finished it, but I thought that I like Kat. I like all the comedians, right? And I think Kevin Hart said this a long time ago, that they all steal stuff from each other.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and whoever tells it the funniest is the one that wins it, right? That gets to keep it. And I've always liked, well, let me take this back. I used to like Steve Harvey. And I used to like him because I'll never forget, in Birmingham, he was in a little dive spot back then. This was before Kings of Comedy and all some of the other stuff. But I liked the fact that he could look at his audience and pivot and turn and tell jokes that were right for that bridal party that was going on that night.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I love about Steve. And he's country, right? So yeah. I think everybody has their style. Kat has kind of a country, style to him as well, which makes him funny and draws in people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it draws in a particular audience.
Yeah.
More so than others. There was one dude, I saw his video, and he said that he liked Cat more than he liked Cedric because Cat was more negrified.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I was like, what the hell is negrified? What is that?
You see cat and you kind of know what the word means.
You know, yeah. I mean, like it was a rhetorical question. I meant more about the word than the definition.
Right.
Like, I know what you're saying, but negrified, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's like I saw Eddie Griffin recently,
yeah.
and I like Eddie Griffin.
Yeah,
You know, I think he's funny. I think he's actually intelligent as well.
yeah.
So I mean, when you think about comedians and things like that. So to answer your original question, I have not only saw part of it, so I'm probably
I like Eddie too. I don't find him very funny though.
really.
Not yeah.
He had a sold out recently when I saw him. He had a sold out audience, but
I don't find him. But here's the thing, because I don't find him funny, I don't feel the need to bash him. I don't find him funny, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he is as successful as he is, and you know, I would support him, you know. But he's not in the top 10 comedians I would, you know, choose to go see if I had an opportunity. Dave, your thoughts? Did you have any takeaways about the whole Cat thing, man?
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll start off by saying I like Cat. I've seen some specials where I just cracked all the way up.
Did this change the degree that you the degree that you like Cat or not? Did this change?
No, I wouldn't say so. You know what? When people come out with stuff like this, it's interesting because you can think about a lot of I guess situations that have come out about different celebrities that just shocked everybody. And once it comes out and you get the receipts and everything, you're like, oh damn, that's messed up, but it happened. Right. But if anybody would have said anything 6 months, 12 months, 18 months before that, you'd be like, nah, that's crazy. That's not it, because that's not part of the narrative that's already established.
Right.
Cat came out and gave you a lot of narrative that's not already established for a lot of things that if they came out later, you'd be like, damn, that's crazy. But because it's coming from Cat, you know, some people kind of feel like it's not credible, whatever the case may be. There's a lot of people in Hollywood that have those insider type of tales and have receipts for it. So I'm not even necessarily doubting the things that he says. I'm also not going to take it at word, you know, just automatically. But I'll say he definitely shocked some folks. He did what he needed to do to get some attention. I would hope that there's some validity behind it just because he said it, in terms of like not being out there just lying. But I mean, as far as like the Cedric the Entertainer thing, people steal jokes and stuff like that. I think Cat's angle was like, they had already talked about it, him and Sid and Steve, and they kind of squashed it a little bit. But he said Sid was still kind of disrespectful after that, kind of treating him like he wasn't who he is, what he's accomplished, and that's kind of what made him come back and air it out. So.
I wonder if some of his issue, Dave, was the fact that, and this is just me as a fan of both of them, I wonder if some of his issue was the fact that Sid's joke was ultimately funnier than his, even though the base of them was the same, which suggests that Sid is a better writer, you know, maybe than he is. I don't know how he unpacked it that made him so vehement, you know, about the way he felt about it, because again, it's just a joke. You got you stand on your head about doing new material all the time while other comics are recycling material. So it's just a joke. But I think that I feel like he lessened some of the credibility of the stories he was telling with the stories that weren't believable. You know, like the stories about the people, they're believable. But then you start telling stories that people go, really? Now, you know, not people got to entertain whether or not they think mentally you're okay. And then that dilutes the legitimacy of the other stuff that you're saying. Right. So to me, if he'd have stayed away from some of that stuff, that's hard to believe. I don't think anybody would have doubted any of the stuff he said about people. You know, people are still rocking with that. It's the other stuff that
It's the 3,000 books. Is that
right, and that's
got to aid his credibility.
Talking about the 3,000 books.
right. And then you go, okay, well, he would lie for no reason about that. Nobody ask him, hey, how many books did you read?
Right.
Say the 12. You know what I'm saying? Like he just volunteered them lies. So it's kind of like
A voluntary lie makes you question all the other truths.
right. So, but no matter, Randy, I'm coming to you next, but for me, and I know everybody isn't like this. Everybody doesn't have the same sensitivities that I do. But for me, I hate to see successful and notable Black people go for each other. It just something. It does something to me to see this man, right or wrong, right, calling these names out. You know, it's the same way I feel about 50. You know, everybody you come for look like you. You know, ain't nobody that don't look like you ever wronged you. You know, something about that starts to feel a certain way for me. But again, I'm hypersensitive when it comes to that particular subject matter, and I realize that. Randy, y'all might want to go to Glenn first because I know Randy got.
Nope, I'm good. I'm not gonna be bad. Ish. First, I agree with the last thing you said. I do kind of hate when we go at each other. It kind of tears down all the hard work. But with that being said, I like Cat because he comes with a niggerish intellect. And I say that because he gives you that nigger side. They told me there's no edited today. But then he always throws a sense of, he always throws something smart and intelligent at the same time. Just when you think he's stupid, he'll go along and say something. You're like, wait a minute, this dude is a lot smarter than I thought. And I think a lot of the things that he does is calculated. Like, I personally feel like he's upset because he's not getting the same respect from those guys that he deserves.
That's definitely in there.
He, unlike them, owns his comedy specials. Like, he owns all of his stuff. He can control it, do what he wants to do with it. And some people get jealous, so they might, mess with you a little bit. So he chose to go ahead and bring out the dagger. I just think it was that. I think it was just him trying to let everybody know, like, look, this is what I got. And of course, anytime people tell the truth, there's always going to be a lie in there. And the book thing kind of tickled me, but I still don't think that negates things that he said, because I know for a fact that certain people he talked about, certain things they do.
Oh yeah, because
what he said.
I think most
I'm trying not to say names since I'm still growing in this industry.
Right. If you don't know, I don't think, if you've done any amount of research, most people know how Steve did Bernie. Yeah, most people know that. They know that Steve tried to backdoor Bernie when he got his show and all of that. And there were videos on YouTube of Bernie telling the story. And those videos are no longer up. So I think Steve is big enough that he probably was able to get those taken down. I was actually a little hurt seeing Steve speak at Bernie's funeral, because I was like, you didn't always do that dude, right. And now you up kind of, being fake at his funeral. But he tried to get the Ocean's 11 part from Bernie. He did some stuff with Bernie when it came to Bernie's show. So yeah, Steve is by no means not culpable, in a lot of this, but some of it,
that's why his wife cheated on him now.
Which one?
I think it's
karma.
And he giving relationship and marriage advice.
Right.
I ain't hating. I'm just saying that's like.
Let me tell you how to get a woman to act right. You don't go out and get a hoe, but you did. He went out and got a hoe.
Hey,
and tried to make the whole
gonna be nice,
right.
Randy. I thought you was gonna be nice. That
is being nice. I can tell you the truth about it, because we all know.
No, that's all right. That's all right.
Oh, okay, so that was nice enough. That's all. That's the nicest she gonna get.
See, I hate to
write a book about the challenges of being tall.
I hate to be the male on the show, but the thoughts and opinions.
The
guests on the show are not those of G Rose Productions, Glenn Murray, Keisha Rose, Roger Jackson, and Mel Roberson, for that matter, even though he's not here.
I like the baby look, Glenn. I like the baby.
But you forget about me? The Hazard Group?
Oh, I'm sorry, the Hazard Group as well. I forgot. Sorry.
Now, Robert, you're a whole group?
Yeah, I know, really. It should be the Hazard
entity?
Hey,
we can move right on.
Robert's the whole Silver Fox group. by himself.
He's Silver Fox in training.
Yeah,
He's not quite there yet. He got to get through some things, and then he'll make it.
little AARP.
Not a business man. I'm a business man.
Hey, let's switch gears, man. Enough about Cat and his 440. I was watching a video. I got a shout. I don't know if this friend of mine is watching, man. I got a friend of mine that sent me a T-shirt, and it said, "Hey, man." He said, "Man, you need this T-shirt, and you need to copyright it," because that's how I begin every question when I'm talking to you guys. I go, "Hey, man." So I was like, you know what? I got to think about that. That's actually pretty accurate. I'm gonna try not to make y'all listen to my piped in audio and stuff tonight, but I was watching a couple of things prepping for the show, and I saw a video. I can play it if I need to, but I saw a video of a lady, and she was asking. This is a pretty popular panel of guys that do the relationship talk. As a matter of fact, as soon as I watched it, Robert sent it to me. It was almost like we had watched it at the same time, and then he sent it to me. I mean,
watch party.
yeah, right. It ended, and then it popped up in my box from Robert, and I was like, I just watched this. But this is about the sensitivity, right, Robert? So a lady got up, and I think a lot of times, and ladies, I'm not coming for you. But I think the undeniable support that women get from community, whether or not they're right or wrong, becomes very apparent in situations like this, right? And men don't necessarily get that same kind of community support when they're right or wrong. But the lady got up and she said, "What do you do?" She's asking men this question, Dave. She said, "What do you do when you have a man that's more sensitive than you?" and I admit, man, I'm a seasoned brother, so I still have some challenges when it comes to that level of vulnerability and transparency. That's not what I saw growing up, right? From my dad. I was able to kind of make my way out of the shadow of that, so that I became a lot more emotionally mature, and I think intellectual, and I don't fear the revelation of being emotional, even to another man. Like some men from my age group might. But the guy said to her that he hates questions like that because those questions confine men and bottle men up, and they back them into a corner. Because the truth is, if a man can't be emotional and vulnerable with his woman, then who, where, when can he be emotional and emotionally, vulnerable? And so that really
imagine how jacked up the women's answers were.
Well, what I thought was more poignant was the fact that before he answered, and Robert, you may remember this, she answered the question and got cheers from the other women,
Of course,
in the audience, because they were just rallying around the question, because they all, yeah, how do you do that? Not really realizing that you're limiting that man. And so, and I don't want to turn this into a conversation about infidelity, but I think what women have always missed about men is that, you run across some men that maybe are emotionally immature, and the whole sex piece and the chase and the hunt is something that still gets their attention. Before the seasoned and mature man, if he finds himself compromising what he has at home, it's because he is getting something that he can't get at home. It might be respect. It might be, you know what I'm saying? There are a whole lot of different things that he might be getting. And I don't think it is a matter of him prioritizing with those things. It's a matter of him seeking those things out. And ultimately it leads to infidelity. But if a man is coming into his own home and he can't be vulnerable and open and emotional and transparent, then I mean, it's going to present some way, right? It's going to present some way. Hopefully it doesn't present with infidelity, but it's going to present some way, whether it presents with anxiety or, a heart-to-heart conversation or whatever, but it's going to present. So Glenn, what do you think about that? About women who see men in such a way that they don't allow them the opportunity to be vulnerable. They don't want to create a safe space for them.
I think most men, and you guys can attest to this, the women that we have either fallen in love with or in love with now allow us to be vulnerable. They allow us to show that side of ourselves. They have the maturity to understand that we can't be one way all the time.
Yeah.
The fact that there's a comfort in being vulnerable with them is the ultimate show of respect to them.
Yeah. I've been very fortunate. I haven't really had that problem. And because I'm a talker, and I'm a transparent talker, and I'm a communicator. And I've been, thankfully, even relationships that did not work or last, teacher, even relationships I've had that did not work or last, they never have made me feel stifled, like I couldn't be transparent or vulnerable, if I ever felt the need. Randy, you don't really seem like you got a whole lot of vulnerabilities. I don't know. Is that something you need from your lady?
I mean, I was kind of lucky the way I grew up. My dad told me there's nothing wrong with a man expressing his emotions. And this came from a guy who, not even exaggerating, I saw him knock 3 guys out and never change his expression. This guy told me I can be emotional if I need to be. There's nothing wrong with crying. I don't, because unfortunately women take that and use it as a weapon against you. But if I need to, I go for a walk by myself, or I go for a drive by myself, because it's too, just like shame on you, Chantel, for what you said. Just like
I didn't see it.
She said, get rid of him if he's sensitive.
Oh, wow.
But it's so funny, because women want you to be there for them no matter how their emotions are, no matter how crazy they get. But when you have something that you need to get off your chest, then it's you're too sensitive, you're too this, you're too that, but then at the same time cry fairness. So with that in mind, I tend to take mine and I work it out in the gym. I work it out on the drive. I put it on paper just to keep myself from having someone else have something that they can hold over me.
Dave, do you think that is a programmed response when women limit men like that? Do you think there are ever times when they really haven't thought it through or thought about how counterintuitive it is, and they are really just echoing the sentiments of Big Mama and Auntie, and you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think that is a component of it?
Yeah, we definitely play into, archetypes and past, ideas of what people are supposed to be. Men have a certain role, women have a certain role. So that can happen. I'll start by saying I'll give credit to our panel. I feel like we all probably know how to express ourselves appropriately.
Yeah.
But I want to say that there are some situations where a man just might over emote, and that can present some problems. If you're supposed to be the person who's providing security, supposed to be the person providing protection, it could kind of shake up things a little bit as far as roles and what's to be expected out of you. So I can get that if somebody's over on the spectrum, but that's probably more of a infrequent thing than not.
And I think
personally feel like you said what?
I think that's the tragedy of it too, because just because you have such a hard day that you lay in her lap, and need to shed a tear in your lady's lap, don't mean that you can't go outside and break a dude's jaw if he come at her wrong.
True enough, and you should have an open environment to do that. Now,
not
to
condoning
to do that 7 days in a row, if you're not dealing with some extenuating circumstance, then maybe that's a problem. Right? So that's the thing. But I mean, I've paid a lot of money in personal development to hear people say that every human, not just women, not just men, should be able to fully express themselves. And there's value in being a fully expressed human being. And part of that expression is, you know, some things on the downside. You have the upside, you have the fierce side, the strong side, I'll knock somebody outside. But then there's also some other stuff that you need to deal with. And at home, you need to feel comfortable being able to deal with and sort through that stuff.
And
so when you can't do it, it's tough.
And Dave, there's got to be a value in being the place that man can go for that affirmation. There's got to be a value in knowing that you are providing that for that man.
But there's maturity in being able to receive that as well as give it, as well as show it.
Yeah.
So a lot of women, and this is not all women, but some women don't have the maturity enough to receive a man that actually is open and honest and showing those feelings and that vulnerability.
And that takes me back to what I asked Dave, though, Glenn. That takes me back to that. Do you think that they have really taken the time to unpack that, or do you think that Big Mama told them, you know, real men don't cry, and they're 40 years old and they're still?
I'm not going to blame them, but that may be the only environment that they've seen.
Right.
Is that type of man that doesn't show that emotion.
Because I'm sure I told you guys about the friend of mine I have that told me if she ever saw her husband cry and she didn't give a damn what it was about, that she would divorce him.
I'd have divorced her the next day after that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I think there's a big thing too. We don't know where people have come from, you know, as you said, Glenn, in terms of their background, and so really, Sean, you know, Randy, and myself, it really takes us time to get to know women that we're entertaining or trying to date, because you cannot learn enough about them within a 30-day or 60-day window. So because there are things in terms of triggers and stuff like that may not happen until 6 months out, right? Because people can put on a good face, you know, a good body. I mean, face. Yeah.
Oh, I don't know how
this,
got there.
He went off topic for a minute.
Clearly he's preoccupied with something.
Let me bring it back in.
Hey,
let me bring it back in.
My carpal tunnel.
6 months.
But I mean, it's you've got to hang on in there, and then once you'll learn, because it takes people their cycles in terms of triggers, right?
Yeah.
Everything is not going to be triggered in the first 30 days of being with somebody. So you need to really kind of hang in there. And even for us, ladies, in terms of, you know, crying and things like that, I think we just want a safe space, right?
Yeah.
What does that safe space look like?
Well, here's and Keisha just said, you know, let's normalize men expressing themselves. But if it had been normalized, we wouldn't even have this show.
Right.
The show came out of the need for men to have somewhere they can go, even if it's to each other, you know. And luckily, all the men on this show, at least from a regular standpoint, from a cast standpoint, and most of the ones that join us regularly are men that are comfortable. You know.
One good thing I want to say though, I know I'm normally talking trash, but a lot of women don't realize when you stifle your man from being able to express himself emotionally, it eventually turns into aggression, and then he's going to lash out at somebody physically because he has no place to go, and it's going to pop. And they don't realize that that's what you're building up when you do that, when he can't come to you.
She's the closest person,
or he expresses it to someone else who will listen.
Yeah.
And that's where I was going before, Glenn, when I said oftentimes, you know, men are looking for what they aren't able to get at home. It's not with malice. It's not, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I want to be able to say I'm in pain and somebody receive it and think no less of me because I'm in pain. And if you can't get it at home, that's something that you need, or else it's like Randy said, it's going to present in a really bad way.
I was watching a documentary many years ago, and this lady was a prostitute, and she talked about she had a client who actually paid her just to talk to her.
That's not even uncommon from what I hear.
Right.
Yeah, he paid her to talk about his family, what was going on, his wife, his problem, his job, things like that. The things that his wife didn't want to hear. He had to pay to do that.
And what's so crazy, man, is like, even as I have my moments where I try to figure out whether or not I think I'm able to do it again, I never stop wanting us to win. You know, I get so giddy, man, when I see people that are together and got it right, and I legitimately hurt, man, when I find out people have not been able to hang on. You know, I've had a couple of friends over the last 6 months or so, you know, couples that I thought were solid and were going to be okay, and they were like anybody else. They had their challenges, their valleys, their peaks and their valleys, and then they ultimately decided to go their separate ways. And it hurts me, man, because at this stage in my life, I certainly thought I would have it. You know what I'm saying? And so now I know how hard it reminds me how hard it is to obtain. And so
I think we all felt that way. Though. At this point, we felt like we'd be married. Even believe it or not, I'll say this, and we're going to destroy this tape, but married with kids. You know, I thought so, but I was obviously wrong. But one thing you
duplicate this.
One thing you have to understand is you can't drag somebody to where they need to be if they're not ready. Bishop Whitaker told me that one time. He was talking to me about something, about a relationship, and he's like, you can't drag somebody where you're going.
But you have a right to ask them what the holdup is. Like, what is it that you fear about, you know, that space or whatever.
But they have to know, though.
But you can't move a dead body.
Yeah.
Can't. It's impossible to move. Well, you can, but
it's hard.
But I think in those same circumstances, because that's one of the situations of the friends that I was talking about. But then you can't vilify the person for feeling like you have them waiting on you. You know what I'm saying? And then if they decide, hey, you know what? If you're not going to affirm me in that way, I got to move on. You can't vilify that person, because it's like, hey, I'm here, I'm available. You know how it works both ways. It's like, okay, you want me to be patient with you, but also how long do you expect me to wait?
Right.
So there's got to be a meeting in the middle somewhere.
I think
I'm looking at. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Randy. I think that people give up on relationships too quickly, and that bugs me, Sean, because you know, especially in today's society. I mean, I paid a lot for my last marriage, or we paid a lot for the last marriage, for it to not only to end after 5 years, but when I look at what we see today in society. People are putting a lot of, and I think Glenn talks about this a lot, they're putting a lot of effort into that whole wedding day, and they're not doing the work that needs to be done prior to marriage, as well as during marriage. And I think there's a big business, there to help people, because it bugs me too when I go to these weddings, and I may even be, say something great about the couple, and then 2 years later,
they're divorced.
But
peace of mind is priceless. And if somebody is not giving you that peace of mind, you have to leave. Yeah. I'm a firm believer in that cutoff game.
Yeah.
I definitely think cutoff game needs work.
Hey man, I want us all to win. And I want us all to be willing to look at ourselves.
I want to say something to Natalie McCormick here, because she said talk to a therapist.
You said that like you don't know Natalie, so you must know. Because we all know Natalie.
I want to be specific on, I want
to go her out now.
She said talk to a therapist, not a prostitute. And I would imagine the person that's talking to a prostitute wants someone who feels natural, as opposed to paying someone who is going to go into their head and give them all of this medical stuff when they really just want someone to vent to. And it's easier, I would imagine it's easier to vent to someone like that who would actually talk back to you, because they probably have life experience, over a therapist who's just going to turn everything into a medical, how do you feel?
Right, run a CAT scan on you, and
right.
I get that, Randy. I get that. Yeah. Hey, we got about 10 minutes left, and I decided I wanted to be on some bullshit for the last 10 minutes since everything came so serious.
As opposed to the other.
I was just about to drop some gems on y'all, man, but let's go to
no.
Let's go to the bullshit. I'm here for it.
Dave Roberson gems are not in abundance around here. So,
ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the cave. Mr. Dave Roberson, he's been a little busy.
Ready, John?
Yeah. Welcome back Mr. Wick.
While I like you all a little bit, this is what I came for. That's what I came for.
Oh,
That's perfectly timed. Hey, Dave, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Give me what you got, brother. Give me what you got. I want to hear.
And I'll do my best to take less than 2. So I'm not on the show enough, so I want to give you all something so that for months you all can kind of have a little something. But
we can let you come on and not let Mel on. Believe me, we can make that happen. Right. As a matter of fact, the seat to the left of me on the morning roast is gonna be open.
Right.
Was Mel seat.
I got you. No, when you're looking at somebody to, whether it's date or relationship or whatever, you have your serious situations and then you have your stuff that where you just kind of trying to do whatever it is that you want to do, have some fun, you name it. But speaking to this more serious situations or looking into something where, might be significant at a point, there's some central things that you find in a person. So it's stuff that where you can relate on a deeper level to the point where it's like, this is somebody that I can take this walk with, find out more about life with or whatever. And it's very central. What we're talking about right now, as far as like the a man emoting type of thing, like that's one of those things that you can work through. So you have the core things where you find out something core about a person and say, hey, this is somebody I want to take this walk with. And then everything else is like, okay, this is something that we can work through, right? So when it comes to like a man emoting more, like that's actually something you can sit down and say, you know what, babe, I'm going to be honest with you. You're giving me a little bit more on the emotion side than what I'm used to. I don't know how to process it. Let's figure this out together. And you can actually get through that. And majority of things that a relationship faces, you can get through those things. But it's once you find a person who at their core is a person that's worth being with. You find out more about their family. Their family is a family that you would want to potentially marry, because you don't just marry the person, you marry the family, right? So it's all of those things that come with it.
You're saying somebody that has shown themselves worth walking through this rough stuff with.
All of those things, but the bottom line is the majority of topics that we'll talk about on this show or anywhere else, that other show that you reference, it's going to be the types of things that once you've found that person, whether you ultimately marry or not, but a person who you think is worth going through it with, those things are worth working through versus just something that you observe and say, you know what, this person's too emotional or this person's too that. Let me go talk to my girls or talk to my guys about it or whatever. Like you actually work through it together. So that's
ladies and gentlemen, Dave Roberson.
Yeah.
Roberson.
The real
appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Hey, man, we got about 7 minutes for me to get real hood and ghetto and grimy with it. So I'm gonna ask you real quick.
Let me unzip.
And Dave, you actually pass on this if you want, because when you hear a question, you might be like, I don't want to touch that. Being that you are the only married man on the panel. So say you marry somebody who's the love of your life, 3-4 years pass. And you find out something about their sexual past.
I knew he was gonna be on some bullshit.
That makes you wildly uncomfortable. And I'm gonna give you an idea of what led this to me, because it doesn't have to be that. This particular example, the young lady said, you find out, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me for this language. So you find out 4 years into your marriage and love your wife, you find out 10 years before you got married, she had a train run on her.
See, I thought you were gonna say she was a porn star, but that's probably the equivalent.
We're talking about revenue with the porn star.
Revenue.
See, Sean about to get so ratchet that his video actually froze.
I know. I was going to say that.
Right.
I was going to say that too, Dave.
I think I'm going to be the calm one on this one for once.
Well, I definitely, who we gonna start with? Come on, Robert. Let me start with you.
Wow.
Okay, so you called me out. You won't forget the question. Am I concerned about the fact that she's
I'm just asking you, does it become a thing? Is it an issue for you? Or there is another component that I forgot.
I knew it.
And that component is not only let's go with the train piece, and not only was it a train, but the guys.
I'm done. I quit.
You know the guy.
You said, Roger, this is your host. It was your idea to have him host. I was always against it.
Yeah.
You want me to jump in this one, or you want me to?
Yeah,
wait?
go ahead. Go ahead.
Go right
Randy.
ahead.
At first, I was like, we all got a past. I'm cool with it. We all have done something, sketchy. But the fact that
Sketchy is the word you're gonna use.
yeah, I'm gonna use sketchy. I'm trying to be nice. The fact that you knew that I was around these people and they knew who you were to me and no one said anything, especially if you all are still interacting with each other, because now that's a whole different component, because now you're still interacting with these people. So how do I know you're not still interacting with these people? And you could, especially if because I know me, when I'm getting with someone, I have an open dialogue. We can talk about everything. I don't give a damn if you had a train ran on you 10 years ago. Did you pass the STD test now? Because we all, like I said, we all got something. But when you get to the point where you're hiding people that are close to me, that makes me uncomfortable, because now I'm like, are you still sleeping with these people? Because if you weren't, there shouldn't be a reason that you couldn't tell me about them. That's my only concern.
Randy, let me ask this, because when you go into sexual situations, typically it's one thing or the other. Like, it might be very casual or something that means something. So if it's actually, your guys, but it's totally casual, is that okay, or is it not?
If it's my guys and they didn't tell me when they knew we were dating, each and every one of them is going to get into that boxing ring with me and we're going to fight it out. Each and every one. Like, that's just because
they're not your guys.
Right. Because if you told me, that's different. I can work that through my head. Like, this was 10 years ago. She and I wasn't talking. We could have worked through all of that and still probably dated. But the fact that you didn't tell me is the part that I have a problem with. For me, it's always about the lie. It's never about the action. It's about the lie. Like, why couldn't you just tell me? I know I could date a porn star and seriously have a great relationship.
So could I.
As long as you're honest with me about everything. Seriously.
You heard Heather Hunter, you hear that, Heather Hunter?
Yeah.
No, you will
Come on, Heather. Come on.
You will pick Heather.
So I think
that's the only one I know, because I don't watch porn.
To your point, Randy, I've had women that I've dated that will tell me, hey, you're getting close to Randy, as an example. I just want you to know, Randy and I used to kick it. I appreciated her telling me, that piece of it, because me and Randy were about to play, video games and everything, because I liked him, right? But she was honest enough to be able to tell me that, and that's what I appreciated about her. Yep. I didn't like it, and I wouldn't have expected any of my guys to, because we're guys. We're going to say, man, you know what? I don't think you want to kick it with her. That is what the guys say, right? When they see that you're going down a path or something like that, they tell you, no, that's not the one, dog.
I wonder why that's so difficult, because I've had that issue before, not that extreme, but I remember a young lady that I knew that kind of had a reputation that I was dating asked me to attend an event with her one time. And I said, yeah, I go to the event. I said, however, don't put me in a situation where I'm the only dummy in the room.
Exactly.
So if there are 3 or 4 guys in at this event, because it was going to be a small event, like a card party. So we're not talking about 100 people. We're talking about like 12 people, And I'm like, if it's 3 or 4 people here that you have laid with, just let me know so that I'm not the only one.
And they laugh at you.
Yeah. Right. Maybe it's one of those parties, Sean.
Whatever. I'm like, I'm supposed to be the one that you want to protect in this situation. I said, I don't want to confront these guys, but at the same time, I don't want to rub a certain degree of elbow with them either. I don't want to be buddy with them either, because I know you guys have a sexual past. Hey, Corey from Vegas. And so, and this lady could not understand why I felt that way. You know what I'm saying? And her inability to understand why I wouldn't want to be in a room with 3 or 4 guys that she had laid with, and they all know it and I don't, and I'm your man.
That's the part.
Yep. I was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to do that, because there's just a fundamental compassion and respect that's at play. And if you don't get that, then, because I wouldn't put you in that position. I wouldn't have you in a room full of ladies that I've been sexually involved with, and then they can kiki, and you are none the wiser, it's just not a good look, you know.
Yeah.
So
I would definitely drop her and see what's going on with Corey. And just,
You just say it, right, Dave?
I mean, I was just, you know,
Hey, you know what,
last
Dave?
couple minutes of the show. Let's try to make
that may be one of the most classic moments ever
That was
in the
good.
history of the cave, dude. You always provide something special, brother. I just want you
Hey,
to know it, man. You are one of a kind.
happens in
Everybody
Vegas.
touched that question. Randy, did you said you could date a porn star, so you don't care long as she open and ain't got no
As long as you
STD.
open and you don't have an STD.
Glenn,
Open
what did
honest.
Corey Pops? Glenn, what did you say? Could you deal with that? Did you, if you found out that she was, 6 deep 10 years ago?
So they knew her. So the homies knew her biblically, huh?
Robert. Yeah, the homies knew her. Yeah, ain't no fun.
How much time?
Could you do it?
Oh, look, we're overtime.
We're already out of time, but they have not stopped us. So yeah, clearly they're gonna edit it and get us where we need to be. So Glenn, don't try to get out of it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that I could. No.
You need,
and I'm sure she wouldn't want
Eddie Murphy say, Dave, like Eddie Murphy say, clean, squeaky clean.
He wouldn't want to know if 20 years ago I went to an En Vogue concert and let all 4 of them. Lord.
Okay. Yeah.
If you did that and didn't tell us about it, man, I'd be mad at you.
Just Terry.
Really.
I'm good with everybody else. As long as Terry. Just give me 20 minutes.
Which one is Terry?
Oh, no. Terry was mine. Terry was mine.
Which one is Terry? The lead singer or the tall one?
No, the short one with the large eyes. That's Terry Ellis.
I actually feel like they would have all got together. I feel like they would have all got together and sang to Glenn, like, never gonna get it, never gonna get it. Never gonna.
No, I think it would have been more like,
Dave, I want you to know you are sharp on this.
Oh, that was good.
No,
that was good, Dave.
That was a good one.
That really would have been the song "Don't Go." That's what it would have.
Aim. No. I'm going with Dave. You brought your A game on this evening, Dave. Terry Ellis was the one that had the singer Wherever You Are.
Yep, that was her.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I shoot everybody in here over Terry. Yeah. If
to
y'all got to die, I'm gonna give y'all 30-second head start.
Terry could have took me from Janet Jackson. Terry had a chance for a minute.
Glenn, we got to have a talk with you about the whole fantasy thing.
No, I got proof that Janet is still stalking me. I have to tell you the story off the show. There's proof though. Happened yesterday.
Hey man, did everybody get to answer this? Robert, I don't think you said it wouldn't bother you, right?
No.
Dave, I gave you a pass, right? Because I don't,
That's because Robert's porn star passed.
My couch is not currently available, Dave. So I want
Bradley.
Be careful.
That was Robert in another life.
So did you answer, Dave?
I want to reach out to me. You can hit me on here.
Dave, did you? Dave, did you answer it?
Everybody's got a past, and my past makes me incredibly forgiving for anything that comes my way. So I'll leave it at that.
This is diplomatic Dave, ladies and gentlemen. That's
diplomatic
Dave. He did a secret porn. That's why he said that.
Hey man, we have been on here for a whole hour.
That was his name.
We've been on here for a whole hour and not mentioned the morning roast. How dare we? So if you don't know, we have taken this to a different level, and we've got episodes of it's got to be clean. No carpal tunnel comments. But we've got I think about 10 episodes that aired on WGN in Chicago and the CW Channel 39 in Houston. They have been doing remarkably well, and so I'm proud of all of you guys and proud of the production team because we've done some things that maybe when we started out we didn't think we could do or weren't even thinking about doing. I think some of the numbers look like 800 views episode 1, over 100,000 views by episode 10. So you guys are remarkable and amazing, and you're doing amazing things. And from what I understand, there will be more episodes coming in March, I think, for WGN and the CW Channel 39. So we hope that you'll continue to support us and rock with us The reason that we do this is because you receive us so well. You validate our opinions, our feelings, our desire to share and be heard. And that was what gave me peace in the midst of the woman attacking me, Glenn, is I thought to myself, why would I be bothered by this stranger that clearly is hurt, clearly is hurting, attacking me when I have the Olamides, the TJs, the whole crew of people that have been rocking with us, some for as much as 3 years, supporting what we're doing, supporting our opinions, supporting our rights to think what we think and express what we feel. And so I would be the dummy to let this one woman impact me on that level when clearly there are a whole lot more women that appreciate the effort that we're making and the message that we're sending. And so that's what kind of helped me get through it. Robert, you had something?
I was just going to say that we want to let people know too, Sean, that we're going to be live in WGN on WGN coming. Is it February 1st or is it February 2nd?
Yeah, it's not live though; it's recorded. But we're going to be on the People to People show.
Yeah,
we'll let you know when it airs. But they're going to interview all the members of our cast on that show about the morning roast. So we're really excited about that. We taped that in a few weeks. Actually.
Yeah.
So thank you all. At the end of the day, what all of us are saying is thank you for watching since 2019 or 20 or whenever we started this. And thank you for the support you give us, and thank you for the new people. I'm still pulling in new people, to check us out and watch us, man.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Randy.
for actually being the host and putting us all together and keeping us in the boxes that you do. So
Or outside the boxes sometimes, like that.
Sometimes outside the boxes, but you do an amazing job with doing that. As well.
Thanks, Randy and Dave.
That's interesting because Robert was trying to replace you as host prior to the show starting. I guess water under the bridge. I don't know.
Look, I'm just gonna say, if you ever have me on your show, I do know how to act right.
Sure.
Hey man, I could watch this show with Dave every day. This has got to be Dave's most memorable show.
Roger, I want the comment cut out. I want that.
That's stuck in my head.
Way too good of a burn. That was too good of a burn.
In the green room.
Wrestling with my image.
In the green room.
Yeah, see you in the green room. And for those of you who don't know about the Live from the Cave, the morning roast, that's how we're going to get out of here. We're going to let you see a little bit of that show. And maybe 2 weeks or so, our schedules don't allow us to do this every week anymore like we used to. It's more like every other week. But just stay connected to those of us that are a part of the cast, and you'll know when we're coming up and we're going to be on next. But we're going to share a little something for you from Live from the Morning Roast, and we'll see you next time on Live from the Cave for sure. Excited about this opportunity to spread our show and what we've been doing for the last 3 years to even more people, man.
I was excited to be part of this show. I would be even more excited if I didn't have to sit next to Glenn.
Yeah, and I'm gonna need something stronger in this cup if I gotta sit next to Mel.
So Glenn, what do you think about body count?
I bought this jacket for the show. You like it?
Yeah, your berry colored jacket.
Thank you.
What's the body count on the jacket?